everybody. You're absolutely right, Andy. I was. Ethel. But it makes such sense why they're in the game. Don't get strange. I'll explain what a DOA agent is in a second. Don't get strange. No, no, no. Oh, now I ain't getting strange. Don't get strange. I ain't getting strange. And that line, that cheating, that predatory sweaty, anything he said, you couldn't throw away. He's a legal stain, don't get strange. Oh, may we finally find out who's to blame, don't get strange. Hi, everybody. Hi, Mama, for Indiana.
Don't get strange.
Hello. How's everybody doing? Here, let's see here. Let's pull my monitor closer. Did you see any women today? If so, what were they wearing? Let's see. McDonald's uniforms. Yeah, that'd be it. Let's see. All right, so somebody was asking what DOJ was. DOJ is Department of Justice, and every state has a Department of Justice. In particular, in this case, which you're talking about, which is what I was really like reading about and kind of trying to figure out right before this started in about the 14 minutes I had to do research before this live. And I didn't quite make it under that 14 minutes because I did go to Casey's document to verify that this, what was it, Kathy Wilson or something like that, or whatever it was, that she was an actual special agent with the DOJ. I went to the document to look for that proof, but I wasn't able to pick it out quick enough. So, or maybe there was something I didn't know that I needed to know to pick it out. But anyways, but it is interesting. If in fact that auto trader photographer that preceded Teresa was actually a DOJ agent undercover, that's pretty weird. That's pretty odd. Because, I mean, you guys have heard me talk about, there is somebody out there who's done some research about what was going on in the criminal justice, kind of arena at that time in 2003, 2002 to like say 2005 when Stephen was getting out. And the fact is there was 900 prisoners in Wisconsin, a little over 900 prisoners in Wisconsin that were trying to petition the Wisconsin Innocence Project to get their evidence tested like Stephen Avery had done. And there was 900 people knocking on the door. Now, the Wisconsin DOJ immediately recognizes that as oh crap, right? Because it's not at that point, it's not just a lawsuit from Stephen Avery. What they're thinking is the potential other ones. See, are all 900 of those people going to be successful? No, absolutely not. Are probably a good portion of those 900 people actually guilty? Probably. Probably more than half. Probably a good portion of them have actually done the thing that they're there for. But the fact of the matter is, let's say 40 out of that 900, squirt out of the prison system, and suddenly they're filing a case too. And suddenly it's not just Stephen Avery, it's a much bigger problem. And this has always been why I could understand how Tom Fassbender could operate the way he did. He's also from the DOJ. He was a special agent from the DOJ in this investigation. He was co-lead investigator with Wiegert, but that's who he was. He was a special agent with DOJ. The way they coerce Brendan, the way he seems to see no problem with it, the way him and Mark are badgering Jody and just about anybody else to say, bad things that Stephen did to them sexually and whatever, all these things that they're going around badgering people and all these kind of things that they're doing. It all brings me back to the fact that the Wisconsin DOJ wanted to stop literally that dam that was about to burst open and say let 40 actually innocent prisoners out, who are then going to want compensation, and they wanted to plug that dam. They wanted to plug that dam, and so that's when Stephen Avery comes back into it. By revilifying Stephen Avery, they kill the goodwill that was kind of developing there in Wisconsin, where people were going like, "Oh my God, we have innocent people in our prisons. Maybe we should really pay attention to this." Just when that kind of change was happening in Wisconsin, the Wisconsin DOJ was trying to fight against that because they knew they were going to have to be stuck with the bill of paying off all these lawsuits. And that wasn't something Peg L was real excited about. You know what I mean? So, sorry I haven't been looking at the comments because I'm just trying to, say this. So when you think about it, they have this 900 people. Obviously, not all 900 are going to come out, but even a small number, if it's even just a small number squared out, it's a huge problem for the DOJ. So you then understand how the DOJ could be motivated to revilify Stephen Avery, to kill all of that goodwill that was beginning to develop because Stephen was on TV with the governor, at press conferences with the governor and things like that. They wanted to kill that goodwill and stuff that was beginning to develop, and they wanted to they were trying to put the genie back in the bottle. That's what it looks like. That's what it seems like. All indicators. By the way that Tom Fassbender, conducted himself. And then if in fact this Kathy, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting what her last name was, but if in fact she was a special agent with the DOJ, that's huge. Because I've been hearing people say that the Avery salvage yard was under surveillance prior to the 31st. And now it seems that there may be proof, because I haven't been able to verify it yet, that a special agent with the DOJ was taking care of the auto trader route that went to the Averys. And that's just a little bit odd, if in fact she was a special agent. So that was all very, very interesting stuff that I was actually, very intrigued to see when I was watching Casey's videos. So, like I say, Casey's pretty solid. She reads right from the documents. It's unfortunately, like I said, in the 14 minutes I had to do research before this started. I wasn't able to find the actual link in there where it showed her name as the special agent or whatever. It referred to a special agent Smith a lot, so I'm thinking maybe she might have gotten married and changed names, and maybe that's why there's some connection I'm missing, but I don't know. Anyway, I'll figure it out after the live. Hello, everybody. Hello. Let's see, Jessica. Oh, hi, Laura. Hello, Anthony. Hello, Michelle. Sorry, I was talking for a long time there, so. It only takes 5% others. Okay. Let's see. Like they were watching Avery to see if he did anything that they could get him. Yeah, it seems that way. You showed me last night. I'm sorry, I might have been tuned out for that one. I actually, when I was watching your video, I was kind of doing two other things, but I may have missed that part when you were talking about that. So sorry. But I was trying to check it out myself right now and look for it. But like I said, in the 14 minutes I had from when I got settled after getting home from work and took a shower and did all the things I had to do when I got home from work, I literally had 14 minutes to hey Chase, I literally 14 minutes to like try and look and figure it out. So it just wasn't enough time. Casey did her video. That's the one I watched, and that was her. It was her document I was looking at. I may have missed something she said that would have helped me understand, but all I saw referred to was a Special Agent Smith. So I'm assuming I missed something. I missed it in Laura's, obviously, because I was doing 2 other things while I was watching it. So anyways. Erekose always throwing shade at Laura. I'm not really. I was sincerely said, I am sorry if I missed it, Laura, in your video. I was doing 2 other things. And I'm honestly saying I think I just missed it when you were talking about it. You know, that's an honest answer. I'm not trying to throw shade or anything. I don't know. Let's see. Watch the first 10 minutes. Okay. All right. Right after this live, I'll go watch that 10 minutes, and I'll probably see what you're talking about. So, I think I got to it late, so that might explain why I didn't see the appeals document. Or I walked away right after it started. I had to walk away. That's right. It was something like that. Anyway. Aussie. Oh, yes. Got the international support. Showing it off. This was given to me by my good friend Mark Hodnott. Classy guy. We like Mark. Let's see. Simple fact. She does this routinely and wasn't scared. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. See, now, right. So this brings us to the whole thing about Teresa being scared. So we're once again learning about misdirection created by Ken Kratz, because it's not actually Teresa whoever said that she was afraid of Stephen Avery because of wearing a towel. Supposedly, it wasn't, or maybe she talked about the towel, but jokingly. They just joked about it and kind of made fun of Stephen, I think, is what they did. I don't think she was really afraid of him. However, this person, this DOJ agent, apparently, this DOJ agent was actually creeped out by Stephen, and she actually said so. So it was actually the DOJ agent that was working the auto trader route prior to Teresa. So that's very bizarre. But yet Ken Kratz tried to associate that to Teresa, and he maintained that. And we can go into the documents and we can show you. There's really 2 places in the documents, 3, I think, honestly, but 2 main ones. One where we find out she was talking to Don Plitzka, and she told Don she knew where she was going. She's headed over to the Avery salvage yard. No problem, no big whoop, right? We also have the other thing where it's from Miss Higgs, Rachel Higgs, and she's talking about that she found out that from Teresa that she found out where she was going or whatever, and they were talking and everything, and they ended up joking about the towel thing, So people joking around and not acting very, not acting uncomfortable. It's hard to say that they were uncomfortable if they don't show that, and there's certainly no sign of it with Teresa. When she's, according to the documents in Queso, when she's on her way to the yard, there is no alarm. There doesn't seem to be any hint of an issue. So this is just more of what Ken Kratz does, and it's more like it bugs me that he just says these things, and certain people out there just buy right in, hook, line, sinker. See, they're out to get him even if they get a lead and then plant evidence. Yeah, absolutely. That's just it. The initial was different, but Laura explained it. Probably same person. The appeals document names her as a special agent in the first paragraph under. Let me see the appeals document. First paragraph under background. Okay, I'll check that out. Simple fact that she did this routinely and wasn't scared at all. Absolutely. Saw your video. Let's see here. While the woman would have known that Teresa was going there, I smell something fishy. I think I know what you mean there, Laura. Okay. TH did riskier things than visit the Avery salvage yard, so it's silly to say that she was scared. Yeah, that's actually a very good point, Karen Gainey. That's a brilliant point, actually. It's definitely a Fassbender move. Certainly, I feel like this DOJ thing actually gives those people who said TH was in LE or the military some sort of standing with that theory. I guess. Well, who knows? The previous auto trader, the auto trader employee that worked that route ended up being special agent, right? So, hey, maybe that was the training ground. Who knows? I'm just kidding. Hi, Joy. Ooh. Hate it when I forget to do that. Thank you, Sheila. I gotta stop doing that though, or at least I gotta limit it, curb it. Let's see, Mr. Different Law Enforcement. Was her name Special Agent Kathy Wilford? I think Kathy Wilford was. Yeah, that was the name I was hearing. That was the name I was looking for. Wilford. That's what it was. Williford, you believe? Okay. Law enforcement. LE is law enforcement. Kratz is. That's funny. So yeah, there's that. I mean, it's there. This keeps coming back up. It drives me insane. How this claim of her being afraid, and there's always this attempt to create emotional, situations regarding Teresa when it comes to this. Never talking about the facts. Never anything like that. It's just always like trying to evoke emotional responses, just like Sean Atwood says in his book. Those of you who have read it, he talks about the tactics used by Vogel in Stevens' trial in 1985, and he talks about how one of the chapters is actually named "Evoking Emotional Responses" from the jury and spectators and stuff, and the way you do that is with fantastic kind of demonstrations or testimony or things, shocking, things to get the attention and stuff like that, and having the witness on the stand crying and just all the emotions, and how prosecutors will use that to their full advantage to cloud issues. And so he devotes a whole chapter to that in his book, and it's those of you who haven't read Unmaking a Murderer by Sean Atwood, you really should. It's a really good book. Had to go help my cousin. Okay. Let's see, how much have you missed? Oh, I don't know, about probably 10 or 15 minutes. Let's see, how many times was the agent? That's a good question. I don't know exactly how many times yet. Laura might. Can the jury ask questions while they are deliberating? I believe so, but I believe there's also a limit on what they can do there, because if you recall, Stevens' jury asked for the testimony of Bobby Dassey while they were deliberating, and Judge Willis denied it, and he basically he asked them, no, what do you want specifically? So I don't know, that's weird. So to me, I think if the jury asked for one person's testimony, that they should have been given that one person's testimony. I think it's weird that they were holding back from the jury. The jury is supposed to make an informed decision, so it just seems counterintuitive to the entire process. But let's see here. Download the book to my Kindle. Oh, good for you, Spicy. Spicy Melody. If she was afraid, I think she would have told someone and had them maybe go with her because she wasn't afraid to speak up before to her partner or boss. Yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? And I think there's something to that because, yeah, Tom Pierce, whenever he noticed her troubled, he seemed to notice it. It seemed, like we now know about this person that was harassing her on the phone, essentially. So we know about that because Tom Pierce picked up on that. So certainly you would think, yeah, if there was somebody, creating a conflict for Teresa or whatever, that those people might know about it. Certainly. Fantastic book. Awesome. It is great. It's a great book, Shweezy, and it's just very informative. He's, a lot of his information right from the documents and stuff. Just amazing. I even got to make a contribution. I'm mentioned in there. Evoke emotional. Let's see. Casey is the agent, but it was Kathy and AK that was at Auto Trader. Are they deaf the same person? Is the agent as Kathy with a K? Oh, I see what you're saying. So you're trying to say, is it the same? Is it spelled the same? Therefore, is it the same person? That's valid. That is very common in most states. They don't just give testimony. There has to be a dispute among the jurors as to their recollection of the testimony. Oh, well, okay. It just seems to me that the juries should be making an informed decision. So they were clearly disturbed by something they saw in Bobby. That's why they wanted his testimony, I imagine. But yeah, I guess, there's a lot of things that are accepted in the courts that I'm sure there's probably a good reason for, or at least there probably was a good reason for maybe 100 or 200 years ago. And that's why things work the way they do. But I think maybe some things are in for a overhaul. Let's see. It said on the Casey filing that Teresa was mixed up in she did do like boudoir photos for like couples and things like that, and she did end up getting involved with a man from one of the couples that she had photographed. Those things are true. Thanks, Lori. Dang dog hated my guts. Okay. I think it's because she did boudoir photography. Right, exactly. Willis was a horrible judge. Yeah. What you talking about, Willis? What's boudoir photos? Could she have photos that someone wanted back? I guess there could have been somebody who was worried she might have had the negatives of something still. Possibly, I guess, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that would be it. I was on a jury and we asked to see someone's testimony. The judge allowed us to review it. It wasn't a murder trial, though. Well, look, Teresa was in her early 20s. I don't know. I know what I was doing in my early 20s. I was up to no good. I mean, in my early 20s, certainly. So, I don't know. I think she was certainly maturing into a very responsible and mature, young lady and woman. But I think she was still in her early 20s. She was still kind of experiencing life and stuff before she decided to settle down, I think. That's just my take on it. It's the way I see it. I think even doing the things that she did were pretty tame compared to what I saw a lot of people around me doing at that age when they were growing up. So I don't know. I'm wondering if she did take the pics at the sex club. Oh, I don't know. I don't think enough is said about the how ridiculous the notion that SA went from Wolf the cleaner From Pulp Fiction to a complete messy idiot from the trailer to the yeah, exactly right. That's the whole thing. Like I say, I always go back to Kathleen Zellner's whole idiot savant, where she goes through the prosecution's narrative explaining how they are saying that Stephen goes from being a complete idiot right here to being an absolute savant and cleans up all this, and then he's an idiot again and just leaves the blood still almost everywhere in there, and then savant again because he's, and it's just like she goes like through the prosecution's narrative where it's just like idiot savant, idiot savant, idiot savant. It's a rugby shirt. Yeah, I believe it is. Those from Australia would know better. It was given to me by, like I said, Mr. Mark Hodnott. Yes, but she may have had photos someone wanted back. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Glad there was no cell phones with cameras when I was young. Yeah, I get what you mean. I know what you mean, Missouri girl. Wallabies. There you go. Xander Road is 4.5 miles north, pretty much due north. Might be like slightly like 1/10 of a mile or 2/10 of a mile, like southwest. But I mean, literally almost a straight line, north and south, 4.5 miles south of Xander Road. This case should have never been tried in the same county as the murder, especially with the same name. Especially with the name Avery, because of the 36. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. It's the conflict of interest is just staggering, and how that's not noticed or acknowledged is strange to me. If there is an agent, then it is T.H. Boss, the one who fabricated the story of her being falsely stalked. Okay. You really think that Tom Pierce is making that up? Okay, well, we'll see, I guess. Was there ever proof of a rug doctor rental? Yeah, Stephen did have a rug doctor. He did, apparently. Problem is that those carpets aren't bleached. Those carpets are all uniform color. It's an old carpet and ugly color, but it's all uniform. Geez, glad there were no phones around when I was young. Yeah, exactly. Just Polaroids. Yeah, that's true. No whoosh sound would be heard that far away. Absolutely, Mark. There's no way a whoosh would be heard from 4.5 miles away. The jury was flawed from the start. 3 people shouldn't have been allowed. Oh yeah, absolutely. The people working with the clerk of courts, and there was, I think, a father of a actual deputy that worked in the area and something like that. I mean, they really shouldn't have been there. I mean, especially considering the kind of defense the defense was running. It's just they were running a planting and framing defense. So really, by right, you really shouldn't have any people like that on the jury, in my opinion. But I don't know. But then again, those people have a right to serve on a jury too. I don't know. The thing is that the vote was more even, and then suddenly somehow tipped and swayed after some strange happenings with jurors. So it just all looks sketchy as hell. Best news for SA seems to be the election on Tuesday. A new governor, a new AG. Previous AG was blocking it at every turn. Absolutely. That's one thing. Josh Kaul may have less of an interest in that. Even, whatever it may be. Or he may be interested in getting proactive about, cleaning up Wisconsin's image and finding out, maybe, not being obstructive, basically. Choosing not to be obstructive and to find out what's happened here, and that, hopefully at some point Wisconsin can go back to business as normal. Maybe that might be an attitude that one of these new politicians adopts. I can't say for sure they're going to. I certainly can't say that. But one can hope, especially with the wind, blowing the way it is currently. it's, at least something you would hope for. So, as an next professional carpet cleaner, no rug doctor, piece of crap carpet cleaner is going to get that much blood out of a carpet. Yeah, I know, but that's why they say that the bleach was involved, right? Let's see, that rug doc would be full of evidence, but but that's the whole thing. Is Stephen had returned it or something like that. He had returned the rug doctor, and then they went to go find it, but they couldn't find it, I guess. They didn't have any idea of which one was the one that he had returned or something like that. It was weird. But they ended up, they couldn't figure out like which one it was. So it was something like that where they just weren't, it didn't pan out, but Ken Kratz would talk about it anyway. Has anyone ever reviewed Teresa's health records? Had she ever been suicidal? As far as I know, no. But I haven't actually seen any psych records on her. Also that, Lori. There are filters in those machines that would have DNA stuck in it. Could be, but bleach would... I mean, I would think bleach would go bleach the filters, too. I don't know. Avery's car had a crusher, right? Had a car crusher, yes. So why wouldn't they turn the... Yeah, exactly. That's what many people have said. Why wouldn't they just do that? Why wouldn't Stephen have just done that? It's, I think it was an understandable but just strategic error to bring in a different jury from another county for Brendan's case. Yeah, I think maybe so. It's hard to say, obviously, but you would think the fact that Brendan was 16 years old and that would have gotten him some kind of, he wasn't even the one that committed it. It's just bizarre that they came down so hard on him. And the reason why they came down so hard on him, because he didn't want to play ball. He didn't want to play ball. And didn't want to help them seal the deal against his uncle. And so he got the book thrown at him. I think it's very cool that MAM didn't talk all about the sex photo husband stuff. Yeah, oh yeah, that's... And you know what else about that stuff is that it's kind of really not really relevant to what's going on. For those that are looking into it and think that there could be a connection in that arena, then that's great. But does the wider world really need to know about that? No, they really don't. It's just not necessary in my opinion. When you are called for jury duty, though, you are supposed to be dismissed if you know the defendant, have knowledge of the case, or are somehow tied to the case. Well, that's fair. I listened to that Australian crime podcast with the Kratz. That lady is Michelle. She used to do stand-up comedy and went into radio, so definitely not an expert in the legal system. Yeah, I mean, she obviously has her own way of seeing things, but look, she may have just been doing what she was doing because the only way to get Ken Kratz to agree to an interview is if it's a soft interview. It has to be a soft interview. That's the way he controls everything. So she basically wanted to get him on the show, so she agreed to do a soft interview. But she may actually, I don't know. She may actually buy all of his crap. I don't know. I left a comment on that podcast. I left a comment there. I was actually kind of nice. I said that there was a lot of interesting information despite the criticism I'm about to leave. And I just said something like, I am very disappointed that I actually said, I get very excited every time Ken Kratz decides to speak to somebody on a podcast or on radio or somewhere. I go, but I'm once again disappointed that it's just somebody who wouldn't go that extra step and call him on some of the BS that he keeps spreading. And I basically just said, have a nice day or whatever. I wish you well. And then boom, gone. Bleach would make the trailer smell. Yeah, it would make everything smell like bleach. Absolutely. They did luminol on the carpets as if there was no glow from blood. Then there would be none for bleach. Well, I don't know. The whole thing is Stephen Avery's floor was covered with all kinds of organic materials, from animals and all various oils from feet and things like that. I mean, look, his carpets were old and worn, and I'm sure there was tons of organic material down in those things. So in that carpet. Let's see. Yeah, Sharon also used luminol in the garage. No, she doesn't believe him. If you are a potential juror, you have to be asked those questions and then be untruthful about the response. Were jurors asked questions and they gave untruthful answers? I actually don't. I don't know. I never actually have heard about. I don't even think I've seen any footage of the jury selection process actually. So I'm actually not sure how to answer that. I can't believe the alternate juror for Steve was the father of a Manitowoc. Yeah. Michelle's podcast with Kratz made my ears bleed. A true Buddhist would not entertain that crap. They would have seen the blood on the mattress. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right? There would have been blood on the mattress. And that's just another one of the slimy tricks that Ken Kratz pulls, right? Is he spends all that time pre-trial talking about how it happened in the trailer. His original statements about this or whatever, were about it happening in the trailer, and that sort of stuff. And then in his closing arguments, he's all of a sudden saying, "Why are they saying it happened in the trailer? Why? I don't know why they're saying it happened in the trailer. It didn't happen in the trailer. It happened in the garage." It's like, come on, are you kidding me? How is that? It's just like, whatever. And then what is it? 2 months, 3 months later at Brendan's trial, they say the exact opposite, that it happened in the trailer. Steve's rug doctor. Did Steve? Kratz's narcissism is now admitted by Kratz himself. Yeah. Here's makes the case for prosecutorial misconduct. Yeah, narcissism is a motive, right? Did Steve rent a rug doctor and when? That does not make sense. The guy lived in a pig pen. I just hear that he rented one to go ahead and clean the floors. I don't know if it was because he was trying to prepare it for like Jody coming home at some point. I don't know. Did Steve? Let's see. He might not have been a clean guy, but most people, after doing time, are somewhat organized and tidy. Yeah, especially if he was there by himself and had time on his hands, he might start, cleaning up. I mean, you hear the way he's talking to Jody on the phones, on the phone and stuff like oh yeah, we're going to get to have a romantic and romantic and and like they're all kissy and, that sort of stuff, right? So it could have been he was trying to clean the place up because he was, preparing for her coming home or something, it's just, you know how it is when you're away from your woman. He might not have been a clean guy, right? Kratz concealed his personality disorder and prevented the defense from doing an effective job. Trailer floors are made of a cheap wood and it soaks up everything. Yeah, I mean, they pulled up the carpet, or they pulled up pieces of carpet and stuff or whatever. They pulled the paneling off of the wall behind his bed, looking for anything. They found nothing. I mean, I have a picture of that was given to me by Carla Chase, where you guys can see where they've ripped the paneling off and it's just bare studs. They usually write the number off. Machine along with rental contract. Hi, Sila. Why would Bobby even make a note of what she was wearing? That is strange. I could never tell you what wife was wearing. Yeah, it would be. I mean, it is kind of strange that Bobby was writing down what she was wearing. I mean, it just shows, it suggests, I should say, a fixation or a fascination with her. I don't know. It is weird. It's weird. I don't remember the bit. I don't remember bit. But why was Ryan allowed access to the crime scene? What on earth was he doing there? Him and Scott were there. They brought him and Scott in. I think it was supposed to be like if they saw anything of Teresa's, or like in that, I don't know, it's like, I think in that kind of a sense, I'm not exactly sure, but I wish they wouldn't have been. I don't. Let's see. Bobby was really infatuated with Teresa. I think that they honestly thought that they were going to get away with the framing them. Too bad for them that the directors of MAM brought their lies to the public. Exactly. I mean, they didn't. I don't think they realized that somebody was going to do a documentary and that it was going to be as successful as it was. They figured. I mean, they're sticking to their plan of shutting up and just not saying anything, and hoping it goes away. But I don't think that's going to work at this point. Not after MAM 2. Now more people are asking very specific questions, right? Because Zellner has provided them with the scientific, knowledge to be able to ask those very specific questions. So now it's creating a little different situation. So, it's not going to happen overnight, but I think we're going to eventually see something move on this. That's what Casey said. That's why she thinks he did it. Was it before or after the murder he rented the rug doctor? He rented it before. I believe I heard that he had it for like a week or 4 days or something like that. I believe. I have to look into it again now, but I do know that he had it before the 31st. And then he took it back just after the 31st. Let's see. Hi, Erekose. Kate from Australia here. Hi, Kate. Love your dedication to shedding truth of this case. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you. Dogs hit on blood in his bathroom. There was a drop of blood on his bathroom sink. It was his. I mean, had it been Teresa's, then we'd been talking. Then we had something. Let's see. Let's see. The rug doctor, the number of machine when you rent it goes it goes on paper you sign. Right, okay. Any opinion on the AG and governor change in Wisconsin? Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. Like I said, a changing of the guard creates hopefully new windows of opportunity. What shape those will take, we don't really know yet. Hopefully something. Well, hopefully there'll be less maybe they'll show less opposition to this moving forward. Who knows? It's hard to say, but at least with new people in there, we know that we no longer have Shimmy Sham Schimmel, who was definitely going to stand in the way of everything, no matter what. We know that that's what he was going to do. So hopefully somebody else will not be quite as gung-ho as he is or was. Link shouldn't be allowed there either. Let's see. They arrested Avery on gun charges to gain access to his trailer. Scott can't remember his story from week to week. They used those messages against Bobby. If they scared him into thinking if he didn't help them, charges would be filed against him. Don't believe Bobby was taking a shower. He was looking through the window. He was already hunting. Yeah, I mean, according to what Zellner's been finding, that is possible. Certainly possible and plausible. If there had been no documentary, this would have been one of the thousands of cases tried every year where the due process was denied, only to be forgotten about. Yeah, that's true. And hopefully that's what Dean Strang and Jerry Buting were kind of saying, that they hoped that the whole thing about this was going to be, was that it was going to get people focused on the criminal justice, side of things here. So it's, that was like one of their main, that was what Dean and Jerry were wanting everybody to focus on, more than Stephen Avery or Brendan Dassey, but focusing on criminal justice reform as a whole. It was what they were hoping would come out of MAM themselves. And I think a lot of people have had that same hope. No one hunts deer in the afternoon. The rug doctor would have ended up in the crusher had it been used to clean up a crime scene. That's funny. Yeah, that's probably a fair point. Jay, don't forget Wiegert. True, Sheila. Hi from Pittsburgh. I love how you break everything down and you're not just listening to Netflix. Thank you. Oh, absolutely. I've gone way beyond Netflix. In fact, I knew everything that was going to be in MAM2 before MAM2 came out. I was just happy because when MAM2 came out, a lot of other people were going to get informed about it. So, woohoo! Let's see here. Just checked when a missing poster has missing endangered on it. It means the person has mental health problems and possibly suicidal. That's why it's on Teresa's poster. Now, that's interesting, Andy, because in the November 6th interview of Brendan, where they pulled him over in Crivets, him and Blaine, and they pulled them over, and they like interviewed Brendan for like over an hour or whatever. But during that interview, during that little interrogation or whatever, they were at one point telling Brendan, you know, Brendan, because she needs medication. She needs medication. If you know where she is, you need to tell us. You need to tell us. You know, because yeah, she's if she doesn't get this medication, she's gonna die or she's gonna be in real serious trouble. And this is what they were saying to Brendan. Now, I thought at the time maybe that was just a tactic, but maybe she had a medical condition. It's hard to say. See, that's why cops shouldn't be allowed to lie to suspects. Confuses things. Let's see here. Why was Colburn allowed in courtroom if he was a witness in the trial? I'm not sure. And 22 usually doesn't exit one's body. It doesn't exit the skull. Very rarely will it exit the skull. 3 to 6 p.m. in the hunting world is called prime time. It is the best time of the day to kill a deer. I'll take your word for it. Hi, Jerome. I was wondering about endangered on the TH poster. Bobby would have known whether Avery Salvage Yard had or didn't have cameras as to move the vehicle into the property without being known. That's true. He would know. So Jay grew up with hunters, and I live in Midwest. Bobby had better luck with his car. Let's see here. I did also watching you. Great job. Oh, thank you. They wouldn't test the rug doctor. The cops didn't put any evidence in it. Duh. That's funny. All right. Don't get strange or cocky. Agreed. These sessions, I think, help us get more out of the doco. I hope so. I'm actually gonna have to kind of slow down a little bit here. Probably next week. I'm gonna slow down. And I'm going to start going back to more evidence-based videos. Probably going to do premieres like that have a lot of evidence and documents in them, and that sort of thing to premiere, and then say the next day, and then schedule the live for the day after the premiere, so that there's like a premiere and a live, hopefully. But I have to have time to make all this stuff, and the problem is that right now I'm looking to up my production values. What that equals is more time. So I don't know exactly how that's going to all work out just yet. What's the story about law enforcement working undercover at Auto Trader prior to Steven's arrest? I was talking about that at the beginning of the video. I haven't gotten to fully look into that yet, but Laura did say, Purple X Cutie, did say that if you watch the first 10 minutes of her video from last night, that she covers that and explains that. So I'm going to go over and check that out, and then I'm going to go back and look at the document from the appeals court, and kind of get really to grips with this, and make sure that this person is who everybody thinks that they are, before I go spouting off about it. Missing endangered is something like I've seen before with diabetes, seizures. Yeah, so, well, there you go. I mean, they were telling Brendan that she needed medication and stuff, so that is strange. Bobby didn't hit a deer. It was it was a deer hit by someone else, and he called the police so he could claim the deer for himself. They interviewed Brendan on November 3rd, very first interview of him. Was it on November 3rd, really? There was another one on November 3rd? I remember on November 6th, I know they pulled him and his brother over in Crivets. I didn't hear about the November 3rd one. I'm going to have to go look for that. Let's see. Yep, the medication prob for mental health. Possible she did take her own life. Maybe. Could have been diabetes. Let's see. Legally, it was a surprise to a lot of lay people that police are allowed to lie and get a confession. Your videos are great at discussing these problems, issues in the system. Oh, thank you so much, Travis. It just seems like a problem to me. Yeah, it just does. I don't know. I know that the system is the way it is, and it developed its rules because there were reasons why. But as we learn more and the data continues to come in, we should be able to adapt to it, in my opinion. Let's see. Remember about the notification thing earlier? What are you talking about? Notification thing. Oh, 2 premieres, 2 lives a week would be great. Yeah, that's probably what it's going to come down to. Because I'm starting to want to get just wanted to add a little bit to the production values, and obviously I'm helped in my production values by having the very talented Stacy Seabrook, and his music to help me. So now I just got to work on the visual side of it. See, sounds like he has trouble hitting it. He has trouble hitting anything but his enter button on his computer. I'm not sure what everybody's talking about here. I must have lost the thread or what was going on here. Let's see. You do what's best for you, man. We're here to support you. Oh, well, thank you so much. I got a new plausible theory. Teresa was still an FBI undercover agent. She maybe need to disappear, and they made a horrific story about her death, possibly. I love this room. I trust what I'm being told. Well, thank you so much, Sheila. I try to make sure I'm not giving you guys BS. That's why I'm real careful about this DOJ agent. Apparently I missed it last night in Laura's video, but until I can look at it and vet it myself, I am not real confident to speak about it. Forget the production value. You have people talking and thinking, both the specifics of this case and systemic problems of criminal justice. And I agree with you, Travis. I absolutely do. It's just that I might be able to reach more people if I start working on those things. It's kind of part of being a YouTuber. YouTube continually suggests to you that to do these things because it will help. And so I'm just viewing it as I'm just seeing it as a thing to there's some people that will click on a video, and if it doesn't look professional enough, they'll click right away, and they don't give a damn how good the information is. They don't give a damn about any of those things. They'll just click right away. So I want to try to put together a little bit classier production, I guess, values, so that some of those people won't just click right away and they'll stick around for the info. Bobby does know how to search. He proved that. Explain the Hallback. That explains the Hallback reaction. It's a Facebook page. The Hallback family reaction. They're in the car in the interview. It was in Crivets. Okay, that was on the 6th. That was November 6th. It wasn't the 3rd. It was the 6th. Trust me, I did a video about it. They told Brendan, actually, in that interview, they told him, you need to stop worrying about going to jail. You need to stop being scared and stop worrying about going to jail because that ain't going to happen. Tell me more. That's what they said to him. That is absolutely a clear and distinct promise. So I know it was on November 6th. It's really great for those of us outside the U.S. who don't understand all the nuances of U.S. legal system. Yeah, and I'm learning a bit as I go too. Let's see. Plus, I need a life. Yes, I do. Absolutely, I do. And I do have a life. Trust me. I mean, it's a hectic life, but no, I do take personal time for me and make sure I go have fun. Like recently, me and my brother and his girlfriend, we all went out actually to Comic-Con, and we had some fun there. That's where I got that caricature that's on the wall behind me. Those of you who've seen my Facebook page, you'll see that my caricature is the profile, like it's like the profile picture for the page or whatever. So yeah, I get out and have my fun. Anyways, the system develops the rules over politics, and that is the problem. We saw a good example in 2 where legislation on federal habeas corpus law. Sorry, I shall explain better. Remember, I sent the pic about the 3 notification options for YouTube. Oh, yes. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. Ken Kratz sells his own raffle tickets to win the prize. That's okay. That's funny. Were the plates on TH vehicle when they found it? No, they were in like a trunk. One of them was in a trunk of another car, like almost basically on the other side of the yard, pretty much. And then one was, I forget where. I'm forgetting where the other one was found now. I'm lost on the DOJ thing. How did the DOJ come back up? Highly doubt she was an FBI agent. I kind of agree with that too. I'm not sure she was. I don't think she was like that. They made him change his story. Delayed reaction. We don't we don't understand the legal system. It is tough at times. I think even lawyers have trouble understanding it. Did the thumbs up. Oh, thank you. Everybody hit thumbs up for me. Woo! If you can reach more people with production, I am all for it. And you just don't lose sight of that your value. Yeah, I agree. It is something I consider there, Travis. It certainly is. It's something I'm thinking about because it will be a bit more work to do. So it is something that's on my mind. So it may be a slow process as I learn to use an imaging software or a thing to create media, to create short little video segments and things to transition things and whatever. So it probably won't happen overnight, but it's something I'm thinking about and that sort of thing. Because I'm actually having an issue with YouTube right now. YouTube is kind of bugging me a little bit because there's 2 videos that I uploaded recently, made them premieres and everything, uploaded them, and for some reason YouTube is saying that they're not friendly. They're not like advertiser friendly. Well, what that means is that they won't slap an ad on it. And if they won't slap an ad on it, then they won't suggest it to other people because they're going to want to, they would prefer to suggest a video that has one of the ads on it so that they make money. So when they choose to demonetize my videos, that makes it harder for me to get those videos shared around. And YouTube itself is less motivated to suggest them. So it's 2 videos recently that they've gotten me on, and one of them is the video where I was talking about I had the camera and I'm going around Avery Salvage, and showing you guys some of that footage, and then I showed the beach there on Lake Michigan, there where I go over the dune and show you guys all that. For some reason they deemed that was whatever. I don't even know what they deemed it. I don't even know what their problem is with it. There's nothing in there. There's no sex or violence or sexual situations or cursing or anything in there. I have no idea what they're picking out about that. So that's weird. And then the other one is the Ken Kratz interview. Was it Ben Foley, the reporter, and Kratz talking about the whole emerging of the sexing scandal? Yeah, they've demonetized that one. which means that one won't get shared around as well, which kind of bummed me out. And I was just like, geez, why are they doing it? Because there's no, I mean, literally, think about that one. There's no language in there. There's nothing there. It's literally a screenshot and voices. And it's not like Ben Foley or Ken Kratz are cursing at each other. So I have no idea. There's like no rhyme or reason to this with YouTube right now. It's just blowing my mind. So just been reading an article about Blaine Dassey lying in his testimony, claiming he was pressured by LE about the height of the fire. Oh, well, that's not the only report of somebody saying that he was being pressured by law enforcement about the height of the fire. So we can just chuck that into the pile of those accounts that are starting to stack up. I think Barb was avoiding the interview. I believe she was scared. Nothing would have nothing would have kept me from being there. There's no reason. On the first, she was in divorce court. So I mean, and she didn't get out of divorce court till something like 2:30. As soon as she got out, she was over at the police station. But I get it. I mean, I know, and I know mothers are very, very, protective of their children, and so I understand. But I mean, it's not like she was like. I mean, it's not like she just had to take off of work. She probably already took off work because she had to be in court. And it's poor people lose. Poor people lose all the time. I assume there is no channel of communication with YouTube, like trying to talk to a human at eBay. There's not. There's really not. I did one time get a hold of, I did get an email exchange with somebody at YouTube one time because I was trying to figure out how come when I was sharing my videos on other platforms that they were all coming up with the same video thumbnail from like 7 weeks ago. So I had emailed them and I finally got an answer from them about it and was able to fix that problem. But there's not really any way of communicating. I've looked at their community guidelines. I follow their community guidelines. Occasionally I let an expletive slip, but not often. I am pretty clean mouthed here. The subject matter is usually generally pretty clean, even though it's about crime. I generally keep it pretty tame. So I just feel like YouTube's just being jerks about this. Personally, so I'm watching you on my TV and on my phone because I can't see the chat on my TV. You got your phone muted, right? I'm watching you. Let's see. Can you incorporate those two videos into the live chat? I could actually during a live session and play them during a live. But while I'm live, I could actually. I could actually probably do it right now if I wanted, but oh wow, have we been going that long? Hold on, how long have we been going here? 1 hour and 3. Okay. We were raised to trust the police with poor Brendan learning disabilities. I'm sure he believed that he was perfectly safe, and so did his mom. Very sad. I agree. I mean, he was just the lamb to the slaughter. That's what kills me about Brendan. It pisses me off so much. If people curse in super chat, the video can be demonetized. Speaking of super chat, hey folks. You know me, I'm not greedy for money. So, as much as I appreciate it when you guys do super chat money, I say until YouTube pulls its head out of its rear end, don't super chat me any money. They take like 30% of it, and I don't feel they deserve it. They certainly do not deserve it at this time. So I'd rather starve them of it. If you absolutely have to tip me, if you just have an uncontrollable desire to tip me, you can go to PayPal and you can send a gift to erekoseamm@gmail.com if you want, and then that way YouTube doesn't, you can't do anything about it. So But I'm pretty pissed off that they're getting 30% of that, and then I'm getting this drama with them that they can't even bother to explain or make it make any sense, because I have looked through their community guidelines hundreds of times, sat there going, why could they be doing this to me? What would it be causing this? What did I do in this video that is somehow, and so I've gone over those community guidelines. They're just being jerks. So I'm probably going to start expanding out to a Patreon. Not leaving YouTube. I'll still be here and I'll still upload here. But to get around some of their antics, I'm going to probably try Patreon. And I may even try to upload most of my videos as audio as a podcast on Apple. Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to see how that works, if that's feasible, or if Apple's going to try to charge me an arm and a leg to do a podcast. So, the word murder gets flagged. I know several people who are dealing with the issue when reviewing How to Get Away with Murder. Oh, okay. We are raised to trust police, right? Could they have threatened Bobby with what they found on his computer? Well, that's one of the things that we've been theorizing, or certainly I have. I've been saying that it's possible that they used that stuff to make Bobby say what they wanted him to say. And then we have the account, like somebody was just saying, where we now have Blaine saying that officers were telling him to say that the fire was bigger. We have Josh Redant, who says that he felt like the DOJ officers were doing that to him and making him feel like he was supposed to say the fire was bigger, until the point where he felt like saying, "Look, how big do you want me to say the fire was?" He actually explains that that's the way that he felt. That Josh Redant explains that that's the way he felt. So these accounts of law enforcement telling people to say the fire was bigger are piling up. And then look at Scott Taddick. Okay? First the fire is 3 to 4 feet high. Then it's 6 to 7 feet high. And by the time he gets to freaking court, the fire is as high as the roof of the garage. So, I mean, it's just, there's obvious changing on this fire. And so I believe everybody who says that law enforcement was pressuring them to say it was bigger. Let's see here. You had your dinner yet, Erekose? Actually, I haven't. But I had a late lunch, so I can wait till after live. You can post your PayPal link as well. It's something like paypal.me. Here. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. Do. Let's see. Okay. Hold on, folks. Almost there. Okay. All right. Where are we at? There we go. Sorry. There you go. For those who are interested. When Stevie gets out, he will need a lot of counseling. If it was me, I'd be so bitter and want revenge. That's, yeah, fair point. I mean, he is going to be probably pretty bitter. Hey, Mr. Erekose, do you plan on covering the Amber Geiger and Botham Jean cover-up? I actually don't even know what that is at this point in time, so I don't know that I can answer the question. Yes, please post info on PayPal. I would like that. Okay. Is my email on Facebook? I believe. I don't know. I don't know if my email is on Facebook. I'll have to go look after I'm done here. I have a page on Facebook, though, and you can message me there. You can comment on posts and stuff like that. PayPal doesn't charge anything close to what YouTube does, and Patreon seems to give international supporters a hard time with extra fees. Oh, really? Wow. That's a bummer. I wonder that also seems because he was forthcoming with info and didn't seem suspicious. Jody turned against Steven and says she now believes he did it. I know. Jody also just recently got another DUI. So, do you think Jody is a sober thinker? She's not. And that is by no means am I meaning to degrade Jody. But I'm sorry, Jody is the person who is in the grips of chemical addiction. So what she thinks about Stephen Avery's guilt or innocence and the fact that she has flip-flopped while she is in the throes of a chemical addiction, there's very little weight that I can put in that, to be perfectly honest. Jay, you have me rolling. Let's see. Jody got Kratz when Stevie gets out. Yeah. Let's see. Jody wants a piece of the pie. Can they do nuclear DNA on the bones? Well, they did do a mitochondrial. I don't know if they did nuclear DNA on the bones, but they did do a mitochondrial DNA of the flesh. The one bone that they found with like a little bit of flesh on it still. And the FBI supposedly did mitochondrial DNA, and that it came back as a match to Teresa. But I have a microbiologist friend who's looked at the results, and they say that they don't agree with the FBI's assessment. So, but I can't really speak on that yet because that person has to explain it to me and teach me how to understand the molecular biology of it, which I know I can do, but it just won't be super easy. I wonder if Jody will get back with Steven in another state. Nope. I doubt it. I doubt they will ever want to see each other ever again. She charges with manslaughter, no cover-up. She charged with manslaughter, no conspiracy there. What do you think Redant did to get off Zellner's list? I think he just sat down and told her the truth and started telling her what it was like with law enforcement and what they were doing to him and how they were talking to him. That's what I think. He just spoke candidly and truthfully, and she believed what he was saying, and I believe that's how he got off the list. That poor bastard now has all these awesome nicknames and a worse reputation than any Avery. Let's see here. Jody is a hussy. Okay, well, you know. That isn't surprising on Jody's sad story. I agree. It's sad, but she truly is in the throes of chemical addiction, so it's really, really difficult to put any credit into her flip-flop story. I mean, it's just how I see it, I guess. Maybe Kratz is working for YouTube and demonetizing your videos. Yeah, maybe. Could be. Or maybe there's somebody over there. Because you know what? My Brendan videos never get demonetized. Never. If I do a video about Brendan, I can't think of a single time I've had a problem with a Brendan video. So maybe somebody over at YouTube loves the fact that I talk about Brendan, but hates the fact that I talk about Steven. Because I know a few people like, say, Thomas Hentz, who also feel that way. So, that's funny. Let's see. Brendan should be the guest of honor. Has Zellner asked you to chat with her yet? She should. She hasn't asked me, but I did get to send her a tweet when she was doing her Q&A. Right after MAM2 came out, and she did that one day. She did the Q&A, and I did fire over I did fire over a question and stuff, and she did respond to it, and it was kind of cool. So that's what I get from Zellner, and I have to. And funny thing is, I have to do it with my personal Twitter account. It's funny. If I tweet any of the lawyers in this case with Erekose, forget it. I get nothing, dude. Cold wind blows. But let me go with my real Twitter account and my actual name. It's like, I swear, it's probably like 2 times out of 5 I'll get a like or a response or a retweet or something. It's funny. Erekose has me scared now. Uh-oh, what'd I scare you? How'd I scare you? Oh, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. You're still going to be able to find me. You're still going to be able to see me. It's just, YouTube's just being a little bit of a punk right now. So, when Steve and Brendan are finally free, it will cost Manitowoc a hell of a lot more than $36 million. That's, I think, very true. I'd be busting a gut to speak to KZ to clear my name. The fact people won't speak to her, yeah, I know that is a little bit of a concern for me too. It's like, why not go get yourself off the list? So, which comment were you referring to? My horoscope says I should take more risks. Should I do it? Just label all your Kratz videos Brendan. I know, right? Let's see. No question about the addiction. It was a major point of MM1 that she called from jail. Yeah, and like I said, those chemical addiction problems have continued on. Alcohol problems, possibly other controlled substances, but definitely alcohol problems. And she has definitely carried those through the last 15 years or whatever, and they are still present because she just recently got popped on a DUI. It's not a cold wind, it's a whoosh. Let's see here. Brandon will be able to buy a wrestling team. That's cool. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Or at least have his own wrestling superstar, right? Curious, has anyone ever pointed out Pam's reaction when reading off the VIN? She was almost giggling. Very strange reaction, plus the way she said Avery Salvage sounded. Yeah, and she also, she sounded like all happy. No, you gotta tell me, is this it? Like, she sounded like all a titter. You would think some people would be afraid to find out that it was what they thought it was, maybe. I don't know. But I agree, it's strange that she's doing that. Curious, has anyone ever... Okay, I understand you do what you gotta do. I will figure it out and find you. Oh, I'll still be here. Like I said, I'm just going to be expanding to other platforms so that YouTube doesn't think they're the only game in town. Because this is getting ridiculous. And yeah, I am just a little guy. There's no way that I'm going to be able to get YouTube to listen to me. So... Or if there is a way to get them to listen to me, it's going to be because informing the public about their BS little crap that they're pulling. And therefore, that puts pressure on them eventually. And at some point, they will amend their policies. Let's see. I meet called the night of the murder. Nothing strange with SA. Yeah, she called twice. Her and Steven talked twice that night, and there didn't seem to be anything wrong. Why Valet K? Where's original keys? Is a very good question that we've all been asking. Plus, they tried to open a RAV. Yes, Pam's daughter admits to trying to open the RAV. I would laugh if it was the Divine Stern, but they didn't like. Yeah, I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it. The phone is in the bottom of Pam's picture of the RAV. Find picture of the RAV. Find front view in the leaves. Okay. I'd love to see that boy in anything he wants. Just want to hug him and walk over and start smacking a bunch of them. Yeah. Let's see. Erekose is going rogue. Like when Howard Stern went to Sirius XM. Not a podcast because then we can't see you. I know. It's well, like I said, Patreon, you will be able to see me. I'm just trying to expand to other platforms, and unfortunately, I don't think Apple does video. So, you know, I think it's just podcasts. So, don't forget that Ryan moved into her house. Oh yeah, absolutely. He moved into her house afterward, and everything. Well, thank you very much, Andy. Thank you so much. You're very kind. YouTube sucks people's money. Yeah, I mean, when I found out they were getting 30% of this, I was just like, oh, really? 30% for what? It's like, I'm doing all the work here. But, you know, I was content with them to get their 30% until they started messing with me. Now I'm not so crazy about it. Ryan also had moved into her place before the key was found. Absolutely. Go Andy. I find it unusual that Bobby doesn't want to visit Brendan because it's difficult. If it were my little brother, I'd be making time. Something inside tells me, yeah, well, a lot of people have also said that. They theorize that way. It's not exactly proof of his guilt, but it you know, some could say, yeah, it shows character. Let's see, Ryan is sleeping in her bed. Yeah, that's a creepy thought. And he just said to send money through PayPal, not here. I know, I didn't want to say anything. You know. Let's see, nice one, Andy. That help Erekose buy a Mac. Okay, I don't want a Mac. Macs frustrate me. Let's see. Never knew that. Thanks for pointing that out. We'll send direct. Oh, absolutely. I didn't know either. I mean, so much that I'm learning right here that, you know, I'm literally learning as I go too. So I'm happy to pass along what I'm learning about these things to you guys as I go. But yeah, that's some of the things I've been learning. Now YouTube gets $6 of those that you just sent. Right. Yeah. YouTube gets 6 of those $20. Those greedy buggers. I believe you can shut Super Chat. Let's see. I believe you can shut Super Chat off in your Creator Studio, but you may have to do it for every video. Oh. Okay. I'll have to check into that. Sorry, I was already typing. Oh, nope. Look, Andy, no problem, buddy. I get it. I mean, I love that you were so enthusiastic. I mean, thank you so much. I so much appreciate the thought. I do. I really do. It's awesome. Thank you so much. It's a very generous donation. So, thank you so much. But what everybody else is just trying to point out to you is that I just recently posted the link to my PayPal. And if you wanted to in the future, you could just send it that way, because then that way YouTube's not going to take 30% of it. I mean, it's literally 30%. So we were just trying to deny YouTube their 30% right now because they're kind of messing with me, and they're demonetizing my videos for no reason, or at least for unclear reasons. So and which they don't care to explain. So we were just looking to go around that, and you may not have heard, but I do appreciate it. Absolutely. I 100% appreciate it, Andy. Thank you so much. Sheila was also using the bedside. There's another guy on YouTube that complains that he gets $1.20 off his products he sells. That he gets Is there? I don't sell products through YouTube, so I don't even know how that would work. See, Andy, that's more cash. That's more cash to his Dr. Pepper collection. Let's see here. Did you link it below? No, I will though. Here, maybe I can add it right now. Hold on. Let's see if I can add it right now. Says changes are saved. So if you maybe hit, if you click refresh, you might see it down there now. Streamlabs doesn't charge any fees for donations. Streamlabs, yeah, I looked into that. Streamlabs, I checked that out. I was looking into it, but then I had to sign up for it, and then it said something about I had to allow them to be able to just have complete like ruling over my YouTube channel. Like they could just delete a video if they wanted. I was like, nope, not happening. I control what happens here. You guys can go F yourself. And so I went right away from that Streamlabs site and haven't gone back. If somebody tells me what the hell they were talking about, then, you know, but basically what I saw there, I was like, nope, you're not getting your hands into my channel. You guys are crazy. Let's see. That's what to say. I needed Dr. Pepper Fun. Streamlabs doesn't charge any fees for donations. Yeah, that's not cool. Boo, YouTube. That's crazy. Damn, now I need to start my own YouTube. SheilaTube. Yeah, there you go. Does your software allow you to display a constant graphic on the screen? If so, you could put your PayPal link on the screen. Yeah. Let me see. How can I do that? Let me see here if I can try to do that real quick. Well, I'd have to put it up as a... Yeah, I'd have to look into that. See, I use two different softwares. I use one software for live, and I use a different software for when I'm constructing my videos, when I'm doing a lot of editing. So that because I have an actual editor, so that I can drop all the clips in and that sort of stuff. So I have two different ways of doing it. But with this OBS, I'm still getting the hang of it, still learning what it can do. I know I can switch it to where you guys can see a display. For instance, like this. So I can do that, where you guys will see that. And I can put various other things there. So I'm able to do that. But what I think you're saying is that you want to see like somewhere like down here or something like, or whatever, like where it would show up on there, and that would be tricky. I got to figure out how to do that. I'm behind the chat, but my thought about Jody is maybe they've cut her some sort of deal to exchange for her saying the stuff she said. Well, we all agree that we think Nancy Grace paid her well to do the interview she did back in 2016, because she did one then. That's when she supposedly ate 2 boxes of rat poison. But if she had actually eaten 2 boxes of rat poison, she wouldn't have never been able to be here today to tell the tale if she had done that. So, but that was that whole interview and all that stuff. Yeah, Nancy Grace paid her. And Nancy Grace, I'm sure, the disgraced prosecutor from South Carolina, I believe, is where she was a prosecutor. Yeah, I'm sure she was egging Joni on and telling Jody what to say, or encouraging Jody to say very nasty things about Steven and that sort of thing. So, Erekose, maybe Bobby and his best friend were the real killer. That's certainly a possibility at this point. Kim Kardashian, just like that weird video interview that Jody did, where the cameraman kept the camera on the interviewer. Periscope on Twitter, yeah, actually, yeah, I remember that Twitter had that ability of Periscope, or did Twitter and Periscope part ways? Can't remember now. Let's see. I know you're familiar with the West Memphis 3 case. Have you ever considered the similarities between the confessions, false, and these two? I have. Even with this and the Central Park 5, even, yeah, it's so totally very similar what's going on. And the thing is that the thing that makes the West Memphis 3 and the Central Park 5 cases so unique is that it wasn't just one kid like it is with Brendan, but it was with multiple kids who were somehow getting coerced into the same story even though they were separate. And it proved out that it was not them. It was actually this other guy that they were able to prove, the DNA proved, everything matched for that guy, like it didn't match for these 5 kids they arrested. So, but there you had 5 kids getting coerced into pretty much the same story. It's, bewildering. Have you tried Lightstream? Never even heard of Lightstream. There's a great platform some of my friends created, and I wonder if they'd be willing to open it up for streaming your videos. Sure, we could talk about it and see what their platform's about, and if any of my stuff would fit in with them. But I'd be willing to. I mean, I'm willing to share wherever, because wherever people can go and see my video and click on it, I'm good with that. Any parent who has seen either doc should know to never let your child go to a police interview alone. Absolutely. No King Kratz. Let's see. No King Kratz similarities. Let's see. Travis, it ain't an interview. It's called an interrogation. God, she gives the Carolinas a bad name. I wonder if Nancy gave her the control question. They both started as interviews and quickly turned into interrogations. Periscope is toxic. Okay, Periscope is toxic. Interesting. I don't know. I mean, I imagine you have a reason for saying that, just like I'm saying what I'm saying about YouTube right now. Let's see. Hi from Australia. Hello. How's it doing? How you doing there, Liquid Culture? Let's see. Travis, no such thing. That is all I will say on the subject. Erekose, who are your best suspect? I like Ryan. And honestly, there's with that stuff on the computer, Bobby is kind of unable to escape. And the fact that he was leaving right behind her, and just there's significant stuff there to look at. But part of me still thinks Ryan, because there's just so much about that guy, so much there. It just makes you go, what the heck is going on with this guy? I am from the West Coast. That's the best answer you're going to get, so I hope it's enough. Catch you next time. See you later, Greg. Low intel, feeding facts, no forensic evidence, and prosecutorial misconduct. Yeah, the West Memphis 3 case is pretty jacked up. Jerome, Erekose usually won't say who he thinks did it. It's not what I like to do, but I mean, I do have thoughts about it, but I don't like to, like I said, it's more about maintaining everybody's, what's it called? Presumption of innocence. That's, everybody should have one, and so I don't like to be all lofty throwing around the accusations, but I will speak about these things. I will speak about the suspects. You just won't hear me getting real gung-ho and fire and raining down fire and brimstone kind of thing. I talk about it in a very kind of muted tones and very seriously. Personally, I say stick to YouTube and promote the PayPal link. Put MEM instead of spelling it out, and see if that helps. Switching platforms will lose sub views. Well, the whole idea is not switching platforms. As I said, I don't know, I guess maybe I haven't been explaining myself well enough here. I'm not switching platforms. Everything that I'm doing here will still be here. In fact, it will happen here first. But see, every time I upload a video, I have a copy of it in my computer. And so I can easily then go to Patreon and upload it there, so more people could see it, possibly over there on Patreon. And then if I could then possibly upload the audio for a podcast over on iTunes or something. I'm just looking at other options to where the information is in more places. I'm not looking to take it away from here. I'm just, I'm just reacting to YouTube being a jerk, and so I think I'm being pretty reasonable about it. I still plan to upload here. I still kind of appreciate the platform that YouTube creates. It's pretty cool. But man, I have worked very hard to come up with this personality and this whole situation here, and that I made it very mild and tried to, to where I was meeting all of their guidelines, and it makes me mad when they do that to me. It really freaking gets under my skin, because I've tried very hard to follow their rules. Let's see here. But anyway, that's enough about that. Gonna cancel my YouTube premium subscription because it. Well, if you enjoy watching YouTube, then you should go ahead and do that. The YouTube premium thing's cool. Like I said, I'm not super pissed at YouTube, but it's just like I don't at this point in time I just don't feel like they deserve that 30% of everything that goes through this super chat. Right now, I just don't feel like they deserve that. They need to make me feel like they deserve that again, I guess. I don't know. But that's all. I'll still be uploading here. You guys will still be able to see my stuff here. Whether YouTube is going to be doing more of what they're, more of this type of stuff, or whether that's going to stop. Hopefully it's going to stop because they're going to realize, that my content is pretty mild. So I don't know. Anyway. Okay, I thought you meant you were going to... Yeah, no, I'm not actually looking to stop here. It's just that I'm looking for more. I'm looking to expand out so that YouTube isn't the only game in town. I can go here, I can go there, I can go to that other place. That's kind of... I'm just looking for more places to be able to get seen and heard, and hopefully make more people aware and reach more ears and eyes, and, I don't know. But yeah, YouTube's kind of actions here over the last week have kind of been pushing me towards this. If there's a way to expand your audience, then why not? Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. It couldn't hurt, right, to go to other platforms and just see if other people get interested in it there. And that was kind of my thought. I figured it couldn't hurt, right, to try uploading other places where other people, where I just might hit new people and pick up new listeners and new followers. What does are you asking seriously? Law enforcement. LE stands for law enforcement. Can't be because of language. I'm King Kratz. Know a defense lawyer from Texas for 30 years. Wishing more of you had gotten fired up about these things many years ago. Well, he has a fair point, folks. I mean, but at least it's happening. And hopefully it's going to continue to snowball. And hopefully we're going to get some real serious criminal justice reform to happen. And I do feel for you, Travis, because I imagine you're probably thinking of a lot of people over the last 30 years that you feel bad for, that you felt received some bad justice. So I really feel for you in your comment there. I'm so sorry that sometimes it takes society so long to wake up and smell the coffee. Let's see here. You'll go take place 8 in Europe, Erekose. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I understood that. No effing way. Thanks, Mabel. You're welcome. Yes, it is, which is why I am a fan. Thank you so much. What about Twitch? Isn't Twitch just for gaming? Yeah, I don't think Twitch would be good with me coming on there just speaking. I'm as far as I've heard, the Twitch is always the gaming thing. So your videos are very family friendly. Lots of the ladies watch you. Right? I mean, that's what I was thinking, right? I mean, I'm trying not to take myself too seriously, and I'm trying to like go, I'm trying to think, maybe there was something in there, but I'm like, but there's not. I mean, I don't do those types of things. I don't talk about those certain situations that they warn against. There's not even any children in my video because they have certain issues about children being in your video and how that they are portrayed in your video if they're in your video. Like, they have all these little things, and it's like, but I'm not doing any of those. So what is it? It's just, what are you going to do? Thank you so much, Marissa. No podcast. Twitch has video podcast too. Okay, maybe I'll check it out. Maybe I'll go over to Twitch and check out their podcast thing. See if I can maybe try and do that a little bit there. If it's Twitch, I might be able to upload my video as well. That way, other people, since some people are so keen to see my, smiling face, Twitch might be good for that because that might include the video. Let's see, what do you want to know? Let's see, what do you know about the character assassination and defamation? And is it a countersuable case if the evidence in the original case was falsified? Is it a countersuable case? I don't think I don't think you could countersue in that way. Oh, you're asking Travis? Good, because he's the one that would be able to answer that one. Check Your Mom's House podcast. They are on YouTube and Twitch. Your Mom's House podcast. Okay. All right. If I type in Your Mom's House podcast, hopefully it'll pop up on Twitch and I'll go check it out. That's why it makes me mad for you, bureaucracy. My kid only cares about gaming and music. I can't get her interested in this at all. Well, when we're at that age, hey, look, that's one thing that Travis just reminded me of. He just, when he was saying that about, I wish your kids would have got into this 30 years ago, he's reminding me that I wish I would have kind of discovered what I wanted to do earlier in life. But I'm when he said that, it's like, yeah, what was I doing back when I was that age, man? I was being a freaking dumbass and doing stupid things and being an idiot. And, not always, but I was doing a lot of dumb stuff because that's what you do when you're young, and not, never taking an interest in the wider world. And it took a long time. And that was something that Travis's statement kind of brought home to me right there when he made it. Yeah, let's wait till your daughter gets a little older and starts developing a little bit more of her own identity and her own maturity, and maybe then you might be able to get her to jump in on some of this stuff, or at least encourage her to get up and speak about whatever it is that she's passionate about, whether it's criminal justice or whether it's something else. That's what I would prescribe. You have googly eyes for Erekose. Yeah, I'm her wee star. You didn't know? I'm her wee star. You cannot countersue in a criminal case. Okay, civil case. That would make sense, right? It would be a separate civil case for the civil rights violation of malicious prosecution, right? Erekose, Amber Lee just broke the matrix. She said Kim Kardashian got someone out of jail with her celebrity. Really? Who was it? The phone was covered with a exhibit sticker for the jury. I was being a little tongue in cheek without wishing it about wishing it was earlier. It is great that people are talking about this now. I know it's great. It is great. It's just your comment did bring something home to me. So don't give a statement or let your kids give one without a lawyer. Absolutely. Let's see. Aussie support right there with that shirt. Yep, that's the one. Woo! Given to be my Mark Hodnott, good friend. Let's see. We want justice for SA and BD. Have you passed some of your info to KZ? You have some really good findings. I'm sure these can assist in the case. Well, I know that she's aware of my videos. Back when I was starting out, I know when I would tweet my videos as me, my real account, and there was a few of them when I would tweet, I would actually get a like from Zellner, and I hadn't even tagged her in it. It was weird. So I get a feeling she's aware of my videos. I don't know if she sits there and waits for them to come out or anything. I doubt it. But maybe sometimes when she's on the computer and on YouTube and she sees an Erekose video over there or something, maybe she clicks on it and watches it. I don't know. Can't be absolutely certain. But I do know she has shown a little bit of interest back earlier on, and probably like end of 2016 through 2017. Erekose Let's see, Travis. Let's see, Travis. 30 years ago, there was no social media, so it was hard for people to have a voice. That's just a very fair statement. Yeah, it does make it easier that we can all now get together and talk to each other across long distances through our computer screens. It helps like-minded people get together and organize. So that's actually probably a good point. What about a civil lawsuit where the original evidence can be proven to be falsified? She did want to be a lawyer, but now wants to be a music producer. A music producer, huh? Yeah, that'll probably fade. Sometimes it takes something like Netflix to show something to bring it to people's attention. Without Netflix, I'd have never heard of this case. Absolutely. To showcase it, as it were, right? Yeah, definitely. Kim Kardashian's got a woman named Alice Johnson. Okay. Hadn't heard about that, so. Andy, what happened in the case of BD? And they say it happens every week, in every state. That's got to be true. I know that's probably true. What Travis is saying there. It's only the last few years have had more of a voice. 30 years ago, I'm sure more innocent people were convicted. Yeah, I mean, I imagine Travis is probably thinking of some people over the last 30 years that he saw go down, that he, that's why all these criminal justice issues are important to him, because he thinks probably of those faces. Look at the way that David Rudolph was tortured about Michael Peterson. He believed Michael Peterson was innocent. He was tortured by it. I mean, I have no other word for it. When I watched him after Michael had been convicted and the episodes following that, David Rudolph looked very humbled, and he looked tortured. And so you got to imagine some of these lawyers, they're not just the shyster snakes in the grass that you think they are. Some of these lawyers out there actually do give a crap and have a heart and have a conscience. And Dean and Jerry feel the same way about Stephen. Dean totally feels like that Stephen, that they did not prove the prosecution's theory. The prosecution did not prove their theory beyond a reasonable doubt in Dean's mind, and that is a problem for him. And Jerry's pretty much on the same level. He said Alice Walker earlier, but it's Alice Johnson. Okay. I managed to get blocked on my main Twitter by Zellner and have zero clue how, because I've always been 100,000% that they're innocent. Right. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. We should all have been horrified after the exonerations coming in, but we keep going for the Law and Order candidate. Yeah, that's true. I bet you her assistants are fully aware of all these videos on YouTube. I'm sure, probably, yeah. Like I imagine probably she does have like a couple of her associates or whatever that monitor everything that we on YouTube do. I would imagine she probably doesn't get a brief about it. She probably only gets told about something when we say something particularly interesting that they don't know about, which is a pretty big feat, because if Kathleen Zellner hasn't heard about it at this point, that's a pretty amazing piece of information. Travis, I'm sure it was worse 30 years ago. Absolutely. Damn, I made it late. What'd I miss? Hi, Bella. Tell Purple to call Trump. Oh God, but is she over there going live right now? getting on live and calling people. Peterson was convicted because of gay prejudice. The female prosecutor was so anti-gay. She certainly was that, and I'm sure that the extramarital affairs with men probably did kind of not help Michael. In the UK 30 years ago, we had 3 channels. They wouldn't show anything too controversial. They are tightly regulated. Netflix, Amazon, etc. don't have those same restrictions, so can push the boundaries. Let's see. Moira Demos and Laura Ricciardi don't get enough accolades. They're both heroes like Zellner, Drizzt, Knight Rider. Yeah, I think Laura Knight Rider Moira Demos and Laura Ricciardi they deserve a lot of praise. In fact, you know what? You just reminded me of something, Stacy, actually. You just reminded me of something from that Australian broadcast. She at one point goes to say the filmmakers' names, and she says like Moira Demos, and then she says Laura Ricardo. And I was just like, you look at that name, and you somehow come up with Ricardo. I mean, I was just like, that chick was she was something else on that Australian crime podcast. Certainly, there's a lot of common prosecutor tactics across all states because they work and stir up emotion. Yes, emotional responses. Evoke emotional response. Remember, I told you it's an entire chapter in Unmaking a Murderer in Sean Atwood's book. Evoking emotional responses. It is in the DA's bag of tricks. The unethical DA. 30 years ago was actually better. Fourth Amendment was much stronger. A lot of the protections in place were eroded by SCOTUS decisions and AEDPA. Yeah. AEDPA pisses me off. I can't believe that we allowed ourselves to be scared into passing that piece of legislation. We, the people, need to nut up a little bit and not get so scared when something like that happens, because we totally screwed ourselves when we allowed our politicians to take away our habeas rights. And then, they wrote the bill, and then somehow Supreme Court of the United States interprets that bill as saying we no longer have habeas rights. I want to see that rewritten. I want that to change. The way that we allowed ourselves to be scared into that is unacceptable, and we got to stop doing that. Dun, 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 dun. Sharon, yes, she was a nut and so prejudiced. Stacy Seabrook. Let's see. Most people in the South are anti-gay. I know. Yeah, it's. I think it's generally pretty common in the South to feel that way. I laugh when Barb says Knight Rider. Sounds like she's saying Knight Rider. Yeah, that's true. Marissa, that it was slanderous and liable, and his suggestion was not to make it public. Jay is asking his lawyer tonight. Travis? Let's see. You could have just paid me. I already had said that. Yeah. You guys are funny. Let's see. Yes, AEDPA. Law and order candidates keep winning. Except last Tuesday in Wisconsin. Yeah, exactly. MAM2. I think MAM2 swayed some minds in Wisconsin. And allowed Evers and Cowell to edge out the two roadblocks that were in our way. Now, whether or not Cowell and Evers will be roadblocks remains to be seen. But hey, at least it's someone different, and there's a chance that something positive can come from it. Whereas we know what we were going to get from the previous two, which was a whole lot of nothing. Now he didn't say anything about me giving it to someone and letting them put it out. They are willing to take the risk and responsibility. Oh, Christ. Yeah, you can send it over, Jay. I'll take a look at it, but whatever it is, I'm gonna have to take a look at it. Whatever it is, I have to take a look at it. I'm still wanting to know what really went on in the jury room. I don't understand the trading of votes on verdict. Well, there's that theory. It's because people think that the jury started trading votes with the people who thought Stephen was guilty, where they basically said, fine, we'll all vote that he's guilty of murder, but everybody has to vote that he's not guilty of mutilating the corpse. And what people theorize the jurors that thought Stephen weren't guilty were trying to do was they were trying to throw up a red flag that would be that the appeals court would see it and go, what the hell's going on here? And that it might suggest to them that the jury was in distress. So some people have theorized that was what the jury was doing there with this supposed vote trading. So that is why that would have been taking place. Travis, you're almost correct, but even 30 years ago, the poor and colored were guilty before convicted, and the rich always have more. Well, of course, that's just the way of the world, unfortunately. Really, the South anti-gay. I think it is more of a big city versus rural thing. I think Travis may be right about that. I think when you get into the population centers, all of the thing around being gay and all that stuff starts to kind of. It starts to slough away. It starts to just, it doesn't really matter in the big population centers. But I agree. Travis may have a very good point there, that when you get into the rural areas, that's where you tend to get the people that are set in their ways and they have very, very particular ideas about men and women and how, things are supposed to happen. So. Large communities in Dallas. Yeah, so like I said, large community. Like I agree. He has a good point. Population centers, I believe, tend to have more acceptance. Was the release of MAM2 timed to coincide with the elections? I believe it was timed to come out before them, and it was also timed to come out on Brendan's birthday, October 19th. It was released on Brendan's birthday. I kind of want to keep saying that because I don't want people to forget that. I think that was important. I think they chose to release it on Brendan's birthday for two reasons. Number one, because it was Brendan's birthday, and number two, because it was about a month before the elections. So I think it was a double whammy. However, the attorney's job is to find possible prejudice, bias, and kick those jurors off, whether it is anti-gay, anti-female, anti-religion, right? As best you can, right? I mean, I understand that that's kind of a hit and miss process too. The Menendez brothers were penalized because of their wealth. Yeah, I guess society may have came down pretty hard on them because they had so much, and they chose to be the jerks that they were anyway. That could be that they were penalized maybe more earnestly because they were rich kids. Kind of makes sense a little. Oh, let's see. Travis, I live in North Carolina. Very anti-gay. Okay. My heart melts for them. Okay. All right, so we've been going quite a long time here. The problem with the prosecution is they want a conviction, not justice. Oh, hey, there's Mr. Capaldi. What's up there, buddy? Ow! Sorry, for those of you who don't know, my buddy there, Mr. Capaldi. We got a little wolf pack. So whenever we see each other, we do the Werewolves of London. That's funny. Okay, so gain her love and trust over a 1-year period. Get her confession on tape. There you go. Conviction versus justice. So, all right. So it's been a night. Oh wow, it's been 2 hours. Holy crud! I didn't actually intend to go that long, folks. We sure talked about a lot of stuff tonight. I gotta thank Mr. Travis Williamson Esquire here. I really enjoy what you brought to the chat here, and some of the things you said that really got me thinking. So thank you for that. Let's see here. What's up, Jerome? Let's see, Erekose, do you think Kathleen Z had made an investigation on all Halbach family? I doubt she's trying. I mean, she may be like trying to find out some things about the family, but I'm pretty sure she's not sending any investigators towards them. I feel pretty sure she's really given them a wide berth. But there may be some things she's investigating without having to actually go talk to them and actually be in their face, and you know, to be there to be physically reminding them of this whole thing. So I doubt she's doing any of that, but maybe stuff where she's digging stuff up online or stuff like that, maybe. Oh, it's great to have you, Travis. It really was. Someone's got to take over. Someone's got to take one for the team. Oh, God. Let's see. My pleasure. Keep up all your good. Thank you so much, Travis. Travis should come more often and get a legal viewpoint. Well, hopefully we'll see Travis a little bit more in the future here, and he can help bring more of a legal aspect to the videos. So, you're so welcome, Ethel. Woke up, got on. Now it's. Oh, I'm so sorry, Teresa Champagne. I'm so sorry, but I've been going for 2 hours, and I got to get some sleep. So, yeah, absolutely. Hope Travis can join us for more lives. It's very interesting having him here in the chat tonight, giving us his knowledge about the law. It's absolutely spectacular. It's been great to see all of you guys. Of course, it's been great to sit here and talk with you, Mr. Capaldi. I'm wondering if she's done any advanced profiling of Ryan and Mike. Certainly, I think she's probably done of Ryan. Mike is fishy. If I was her, I'd want to look into Mike. But like I said, you'd have to be careful about how you do it. Next video should be on the protocol son, Pam Strum. Okay, we'll have to see. Really enjoyed the stream. Okay, you're so welcome, Jessica. Thank you for coming. And some dinner isn't made of Dr. Pepper and chocolate. I'm gonna make me a turkey sandwich. That's what I'm gonna make. Happy to, but I think the great thing is that anyone can look and question. Yeah, and I certainly will keep doing that. I will certainly keep doing that here on my channel, and best I can, and I'll continue to learn. I'll continue to learn more and more about the system and the way that these things work, and I'll probably end up going back to school. I don't know if I'll become a lawyer, but I think I might want to become an investigator. I think I might like to be a YouTube investigator. That might be kind of cool. Anyways, though, we'll have to see how that all works out in the coming years and months and years. It's been a pleasure to talk to all of you tonight. It's been a pleasure to be here and chat with you and help answer questions and help pass along knowledge of the case. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. And we have one more thing here, it looks like. How's the tension in town? Last question. Thank you for all your answers. If you're talking about a Manitowoc, I think it's actually getting less. When we were there for the June rally, I was really surprised with how many people we were getting by honking and how many people we weren't getting driving by and flipping us the bird and telling us to go F ourselves. So I would say it seems to be softening a bit, and this recent election may be even further evidence of that. So that's how I'd answer that. It's because they didn't seem to sad about what they had done. Yeah, that's true. Can I be the Watson to your Holmes? Yeah, we'll have to work on that when we do the language that Brendan uses in the interrogation video. We'll have to go ahead and work out our little bit. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. You're all very welcome. I'm not scheduled yet, so what I'm looking to do is to create a video. I might start it tonight. Yeah, I might go ahead and start it tonight and grab some of the screenshots for it, get it ready, and then when I get home tomorrow, I'll put on my shirt and tie or whatever I'm gonna wear, and put in my voice segments into it, and then I'll upload it for a premiere tomorrow night, and then when I upload the premiere tomorrow night, I will set the live for the following evening. Just so you guys know. So that's gonna kind of be the formula I want to follow now. That doesn't mean that you won't see me just suddenly go live one day just because I want to go live all of a sudden. That could happen. But generally, what I'm trying to do is to keep this kind of regimented. So what I'm looking to do in the future is to do a premiere that gives some background information to lead into a live, and then after that live, make another video of a premiere with case information to then lead into the next live. So that's kind of the idea I want to go with now, but we'll see exactly how it goes. But generally that kind of idea. Enjoy your piece. That's Scottish for sandwich. You gotta say sandwich. Sandwich. That's what we used to say at Subway. I used to work at Subway. It was fun. Anyway. He has been going for... Yeah, I do try to give everybody an hour's notice, but yeah, like I said, I am trying to develop a rhythm and trying to develop a schedule to where people can kind of count on things to happen at a certain time. So that's kind of the next thing I'm looking to do here moving into the future. So thank you so much, everybody. You guys are great. Thank you for showing up and everything. It's been great to sit here and talk with all of you. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, and we'll see ya.